Hey everybody, this is James Quilty from Funnel Dad Secrets. How's everyone doing today? So, there's always, people that, you always see at the end of their journey. You always see them, at the top of the mountain after they've achieved all of their results, But, you hardly ever see the journey that they go on. You hardly ever see all the ups and downs and where they started and how they overcame things. You always see the end result. And so everyone has a backstory. And so the reason why, I wanted to start documenting my journey is because I wanted, one, to be accountable, but number two, I wanted to show everyone that this is where I started and this is how I'm overcoming the obstacles that come into our way. Because we always seem to think that everyone that has made it has some superpower and that they're so much better than us, but really they are just average people like us, but they've overcome, or they found some techniques or strategies or coaching to overcome certain obstacles. But you never really see them at the beginning of their journey, and so that's where I'm at. I'm at the beginning of my journey, and today I wanted to share with you my backstory. Why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Why I wanted to start a business, especially a business from and online. Well, my journey started, back a few years ago when I was actually a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, and I had just gotten married. And my wife at that time, we had our daughter, and it was our first child. She was about 13 months old, and I came home. It was actually October. It was October 31st. I remember that specifically, and she was starting to pack things up, and she said that she was really homesick, and she wanted to go visit her mom. We were living in Montana at the time, and her mother lived in Florida. Well, we didn't really have a lot of money at that time, and so okay, all right, I understand. She wanted to drive, instead of flying. Not a big deal. Well, what had happened after that, kind of surprised me. Well, she didn't want to just visit her mom. She was leaving for good. And I didn't realize that until after about a couple of weeks when, I had been calling her and asking when you're going to come back. I started getting the, I don't really know. I'll have to get back to you on this. And so what had ended up happening was she never came back. And she ended up, we ended up splitting up. And it was about 9 months before I was actually able to see my daughter. And when I finally was able to have her with me, it was just me. I didn't have my wife. I didn't have anybody else. And my job at the time required that I actually had to work a 24-hour shift, and we worked 24 hours on, 48 hours off. Well, I had her for a couple of months, and about a month after having her, I already had a babysitter that was watching her at the time. Well, I was planning on, going to work my shift. It was a Sunday, if you can imagine this. It was a Sunday, evening. It was about 6 o'clock. I was getting ready to go, early that next morning, and I get my babysitter who calls me up. And she says, we have some things that are coming up. I can't watch her. 6 o'clock. Now, mind you, it's 6 o'clock p.m. And I go and I get a report at 7 a.m. the next day. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. Well, so anyway, I called up my commander and I said, sir, listen, this is the situation. I don't have another babysitter. I don't know what to do. What do you suggest? And at that time, if somebody had a situation, they had backups that could, cover for them. Well, he sits there and he tells me, and this is what he tells me on the phone. I haven't had any incident, up to that point, or I haven't had, any need for a backup or any of that stuff. You know what? The backup is not to be used for personal matters. You're going to have to figure it out. And that was it. That was, the help that I got from my commander. So after that, I decided that, what? I am never going to be put in this position where I'm going to have to depend upon, somebody. Nobody is going to tell me that with my daughter. That started my journey on wanting to be a business owner, wanting to do my own thing, wanting to be able to work on my own business and not have to work a 9-to-5 or work for somebody else, because I didn't like that situation and how it went down. I didn't like how he treated me in the sense that, look, I'm looking for help, and he's like, well, pretty much, I can't help you. You're on your own, but you're still required to come into work, so you got to figure it out. So that started me on my journey, and I'm sure, like all of you, have all read, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I got a hold of that book and I devoured it, and I read it, and up and down, backwards and forwards, and I was like, oh, this is exactly, what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, all the businesses that I started, after that weren't very successful. I did, try real estate. I did start, some direct sales business whatsoever. I didn't try stocks because I knew for a fact that I did not have the skill for that, nor did I have the thing, like that. So I kind of struggled for a few years, and when I separated from the force, I decided I had a love for fitness, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start a fitness business. And so I ended up, after working at a fitness facility for about 3 years, I ventured out on my own to start my own fitness. Started out on, and what happened after that will completely surprise you, because it ended up surprising me. But you know what? I are running out of time like right now, so I'm gonna tell you what actually I learned in experience in this video. So that's all that I have for today. You have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you, and I'm doing videos, and I hope that you enjoy helping me and also following me as I document this journey on building a business that's going to generate $10,000 just online. So you have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.